we're going to look at solving for a length of a triangle when you're given the angle and another length. We're assuming that it's a right angle triangle, so that will involve sine, cosine, and tan, or one of the three. In the exercises below, you'll see that there's various permutations of these triangles, and each question virtually involves the same process of identifying the correct ratio, sine, cos, or tan, and then applying that ratio. And you'll see I'll just skim through the questions here. The ones that are in blue are the ones I'm going to solve in class, not necessarily all of them in this one session. So you can see here that it's always just finding a length and you're given the angle. See, oh, this one has feet and inches. Sorry, this has degrees and minutes, but also it has a mixture of feet, potentially with some other calculations in the imperial. Here's an angle in degrees and minutes. And here's a case where you don't have a right angle triangle. And the questions start to just become more elaborate as you have compound triangles. When I say compound triangle, I mean more than one triangle. And you can see another one here. And if this one here is making you scared, I promise you that we'll go through the other one slowly enough to build your confidence so that when we get here, you'll feel okay. Here's another compound one. And we finish off with something involving a portion of a circle. Yeah. So if you've tried these questions prior to class, that's great news because you can see how you did. Of course, the answers are in the booklet at the end of the section. I'm relying on you for the calculator work today, so please have your calculators ready as I ask you for assistance in doing these questions. So we're going to start with question 2. We'll do most of them, but any ones that have repetition, I'll do one of them. I'll choose the harder one and give you the easier one for homework. So in this case, we're wanting to solve for the lengths that are not known. So we don't have names for those. You can call them whatever you like. I'll call them here X and Y. For what this process here, though, you still, as we did in the previous lesson, you still need to label the triangle, whether on paper or just in your mind, with opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. Which one of these lengths is the hypotenuse? Okay, just let me know in the chat. Thank you, everybody. I'll put a box on them so that you don't think that H is a variable. These are labels. And then this guy over here is the opposite, and this one is the adjacent. Remember, opposite to the angle that we're interested in. So this angle is 24 degrees. So this side is opposite to that angle. Now that you have that, you can solve for X and Y. It doesn't matter which one you solve for first. So I just feel like solving for X. I'm going to go alphabetically. And let's do that here. So if we go for X first, we're going to have opposite and adjacent. Which ratio is that? Sine, cosine, or tan? Thank you. So tan of 24. So that's the statement. That equation there will give you the solution for X. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave that over here, and I'm going to do that after. I think that it's most important that you know which ratio to use in setting up the equation. Because once you set up the equation, really it's not about trigonometry anymore, it's about algebra. So what I'd like to do is just set the equations up and then do the same thing and solve them in parallel. So let's solve for the other angle now. Sorry, the other side, which is Y. Now, I want to use 8.70. I don't want to use X because X here is rounded. When I get X here, it's going to be a rounded value. You want to use the most original and therefore the most accurate information when you're solving. Also, some of you will say, well, I could get X first and then use the Pythagorean theorem. And you could do that. But my preference, and it doesn't matter if you do it for me, but for me to teach it to you, I want to show you the most accurate way of doing things. So I'm going to use the most original numbers in the question. Sometimes you have no choice, but in this case, there is a clear path to the best accuracy, which is to use sine. Because this way, all the numbers that I present in this equation and in this equation are from the original diagram. So you're not making up numbers, and if you make a silly mistake, that error is not going to propagate through the rest of the question. So now how do we solve such an equation? Well, you need to remind yourself a little bit about the algebra. So I'll show you a little trick that I do when the variable is on the bottom. I write the following. I'll just type it first and discuss it after. If you recall, I said last week I should say, that I don't like typing things on my calculator unnecessarily. For example here, tan of 24, yeah, it's some decimal. It's 0 point something. I don't care what the decimal is because I don't want to pick up my calculator 2 times when I'm doing the question. I want to pick up my calculator once. Now I can take this thing here and just type that 1 time on my calculator. So the trick that I'm using here, well, it's not a trick, but I'm taking advantage of cross multiplication. See, tan of 24, you can think of it as being over a 1. There's a 1 underneath. So if I multiply that and I multiply that, that's cross multiplication. Now, what if this guy and this guy over here were reversed? If they were like switched? You can see that's exactly what I did here, is I just switched them. And the reason I can get away with that by just switching them is because when I cross multiply, they would stick together anyway. So that's my logic for why I switched them. I'm going to get rid of that so when someone looks on this later, when I post these the PDF of this on Blackboard, they're like, did this guy cross multiply? No, I didn't cross multiply. I kind of shuffled them around. Can someone give me a decimal on that, please? Thank you. Can someone confirm the answer? Can someone confirm the answer? I got 2 different numbers. I'm relying on you to sort the numbers out, people. Thank you. Anybody else have a number there? Okay, I got the same. Once I saw like the discrepancy, yeah. How do you enter tan 24? So you need to, on your calculator, you probably have to use a divide symbol. Oh, Denny, what calculator do you have? What calculator do you have? Because it depends on the calculator. Some calculators are annoying. Do you have the one that I showed you last time that I had as a student? The annoying one? Tell me the model. Tell me the model of your calculator, Denny. Are having an error, can't access the class. Okay, time out. I'm gonna pause the recording. Let's see what's going on here. So we're back here again. Sorry for the interruption there with the platform. So again, we're gonna do this switcheroo trick here, where we take the advantage of cross multiplication. Can someone confirm the answer? I think we had an answer from Denny. Can someone confirm Denny's answer? Thank you. So 21.39. You got the same answer or you got the email? Shalon? Same answer you're saying? Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okie dokie. Let's go on to the next one. So find the length here in 1 step. I mean, 1 step, I think we'll just say with 1 equation, like not too much effort. Let's label the triangle here. So this is opposite. Whoops. This is opposite and this is adjacent. This one's the hypotenuse, but I don't care about it. Which ratio do we use here? Sine, cos, or tan? What do you think? Sine, cos, or tan? Tan. Remember, we're using this abbreviation here. SOH CAH TOA. And it's tan that we're going to use because we have opposite and adjacent. So let me just emphasize that. So tan of 35 is x over 18. In this case, what's different about this formula, this equation, sorry, is that the variable is on top. When the variable is on top, it's the easier case. That's why it says here easier case, because you can solve with simply multiplication, cross multiplication. So you just multiply the 2 quantities. When that variable is on top, it's the easier case. We actually did the tougher one previously, which was the variable on the bottom. Can someone give me a number there, please? I say opposite because they want us to find for x. Yes. So thank you, Amira. Yeah, that's the logic. The logic is you only care about the things that are related to your answer. In this case, x is related to the answer, and the 18 is related to the answer. The hypotenuse, so thank you, Shalon. The hypotenuse is useless to this question. Nobody cares what the hypotenuse is. because it's not going to get you to the answer faster. Getting the hypotenuse is a waste of time, to say it plainly. I want you to get that clear in your mind, that getting the hypotenuse here is a waste of time. Thank you, Jifeng. Looking good, all right. You're looking good, people. So let's try another one here. These are quick. These aren't too dangerous. And the only difference between these ones and the compound ones is just the compound ones are more triangles. So it's like more bang for your buck, so to speak. So this one here, we got to be a little bit careful. Yeah, now more work. Let's deal with this thing here. This here is 19 degrees 12 minutes. So let's deal with that first, okay? The angle, I can spell sometimes, 19 degrees 12 minutes is the same thing as saying 19. That's not an exponent. That's a degree symbol, okay, people? That's a degree symbol. What's 12 divided by 60 as a decimal? 0.2. So that's 19.2 degrees. So that's the first thing you want to do, is you want to deal with the angle conversion. Now, some of you, I mentioned that your calculator has special buttons on Friday. I mentioned that you could use those buttons to do degrees and minutes and all kinds of fun stuff. But for us right now, I'm going to do it without any special buttons because I'm asking you to do it for me. So let's label this triangle. There's the opposite, and there's the hypotenuse. But remember that I don't care about the hypotenuse here because the hypotenuse has nothing of value to us. There's no variable here. There's no length given. There's nothing. It's useless. However, the hypotenuse is a good thing to label because it is where our variable is. We want to get y, so we should label that. Also, and most obvious, is the adjacent down here, because the adjacent has a number, a quantity that we can use to get to the answer. And they didn't ask us to solve for it. Yeah, in contrast to question 1, see, this is a good point. In this question earlier, it says find both of the unknown sides. That's different because basically they're just saying to find all the stuff. Here, they're not asking us to find all the information. They're being very targeted. And when it comes to us doing things like assignments or whatever, I try to make sure that I target a specific thing. And if I want you to get more than one thing, with me it's pretty clear because I put down blank lines where I say put the answers, and you know exactly how many things I expect you to present in your answer. So it won't be too much guesswork when it comes to me. So anyway, which ratio? Which ratio, people? Sine, cos, or tan? Thank you. Thank you very much. So let's put cosine. Okay, so we have cos 19.2 degrees is equal to 65.37 over y. In this case, it's the variable on the bottom. So when the variable's on the bottom, you do the switcheroo thing that I was talking about. Now, you didn't have me in the previous course, Math 1136, but in that course, I didn't teach it this year, but when I taught it in the past, I do go on about this trick. Oh, Zifeng, thank you. Can someone confirm the answer? Can someone confirm that answer, please? Yeah, so when it's at the bottom, when it's at the, I think you meant to say bottom, right? Shalon, you meant to say at the bottom? Okay, cool. No, it's okay. Just to clarify for other people in the chat, because your comments are very good. In this case, the units are feet. The units are feet in this question. And please, people, don't forget to put units. You've seen me on your assignments. I'm not too much of a mean guy. I might dock off like 1 or 0.1 or 0.2. Like I'm not too nasty. But I do want you to be very clear about communicating the units in the answers because you are in a technical program. Numbers are useless without context. So let's keep that context clear for everybody. Can we move on? Shall we move on? Let me know, and anybody there that needs time, let me know if anybody needs time. Don't worry. I'm glad you're liking the chapter, Denny. Trigonometry, I'll tell you a story. When I used to, No, that's it. When it's at the bottom, you switch them. And then earlier, it's this one over here, Shalon. Over here, when the variable's on top, it's just that they're multiplied. You're welcome. And the worst case scenario is just turn it into a decimal and just solve it like you did back last year or even long ago. Definitely important. And I have posted the new assignment, and you start to see that the questions on your assignment, I'm trying to make sure that I inject questions that have context. For example, on your assignment, I gave you a question about a staircase. I'm not discussing the assignment right now, but I gave you a question about a staircase. No comment. No comment. It's an assignment. The staircase? Ram, which question are you talking about first? Are you talking about this one here? Sorry, Denny and Ram are talking about different things. Let's talk about this notes here first. Ram, is it this question you're talking about? Okay, could you get the answer using tan? Not immediate. Well, if you use tan, then you're going to get this length over here, and then you'd use the Pythagorean theorem. So it takes longer. There's nothing wrong with doing that. It just takes longer. With me, as much as possible, I'm not going to try to explore various ways. I want to give you the best way so that you have a good example. And once you have the right answer, then I'll explore with you. So thank you for the question. Denny, that question with the staircase, it says the slope. My clue to you and the class is that slope is rise over run. So if you draw a triangle, that's all you need to understand is draw a triangle with rise over run. Okay? Draw a triangle and write down rise over run. That should help you. Ooh, one more. Oh no. Okay, we're gonna skip this one. We're gonna skip this one because it's the same as the first question. It's just finding the both sides, and I didn't label it. We're gonna go over to question number 6. It says here, find the height h of this gabled roof. So I'm pretty sure there's many people in this audience that know a lot more about roofs than I do. So that's fine with me. But in any case, what's special about a gabled roof? Someone tell me about this triangle. What do you know about this triangle? Can someone describe the triangle to me? It has it has two angles that are the same. What type of triangle is this?
Isosceles.
Thank you, Shalon. Yes. It's isosceles. So what you can do is you can bisect it. Remember, bisect means cut in half somehow. In this case, we're cutting it in half like that. And we can draw that triangle separately. You know, sometimes things that happen that are like negative, like Blackboard not working correctly today, also provide insight into other things. I noticed that I'm much more able to write down and draw here, and there's no lag. And what that confirms for me is that it's not my computer that's causing the issue, it's the bandwidth through the platform. So I can definitely tell that to the developers because it demonstrates that, because when you try to record here, it goes really slow. But when the recording's off, it's fine. Anyway, off topic, let's get back online here. We want to get the height here. Okay, so this is the opposite. I'll put OPP this time. And this is the adjacent. So, which ratio is that? Which ratio should we use? Yeah, it's tan. Tan. Does it help that I write this here, the thing I'm highlighting? Does that help you when I write it? Okay, I'll keep on doing that for today. I might kind of wean you off of it on Friday, though. So that's opposite over adjacent. I give you a happy face, Samira, but I'm a keyboard ninja right now on the PowerPoint. I'm trying to do the keyboard ninja thing here. So anyway, okay, so What do we do here? Do we multiply or divide here? What do we do with these two quantities? Thank you, Amira. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Joanna, and thank you, Yanvi. We are on point, my friends. There we go. Kicking butt. All right, what's the height here? What's the height? What do we got? Thank you, George. Can someone confirm? Thank you, Amira. Are we done? Are we done with this question? Please say no, because the question says feet and inches. So let's get that feet and inches here. So just take a note on the side here, 0.73 times 12 is equal to, approximately equal to, well, it's 3/4, right? So 3/4 of 12 is 9. It's close to 9 inches, pretty sure. So the height is equal to 4 feet 9 inches. Don't fall into that trap where you get so excited because you got to the end, and then all of a sudden you're like, damn, I just lost something at the end, something silly. Okay. Excuse me. Oh yeah, I was gonna tell you about back in the day when I used to help kids out with like math and whatever, and I was a tutor. I was a TA at the university at U of T for a while too. One of my favorite things explaining to people was trigonometry, especially when they were not getting high marks in math, because you can teach trigonometry, and it's almost like it's its own module. Like you don't need to know um, advanced algebra to do trigonometry. It's just a different thing, right? It's a more visual, it's more geometric. So it's always fun seeing someone who maybe was struggling with other concepts in math, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're like a star when it comes to trigonometry. So anyway, if this is a topic that you can definitely isolate and build your confidence with, and if you know anybody in high school, or if you have siblings or kids that are young in that age, this is a topic where you can take them under your wing and really just turn them into stars, regardless of how they perceive themselves in the past with math. So what the heck is going on here? This is like a remix of something we did in the earlier unit on Pythagorean theorem. We're asked to find the total length of this pipe run. So I'm looking here. I'm gonna highlight the easy stuff in yellow. See, that's easy. That's easy, and this is easy. So those quantities are not really like anything you need to stress too much about. You're gonna add those three things in yellow together at the end. The part that's difficult is the hypotenuse here. I kind of gave you a clue there. Is that piece right there? Because that piece is angled. And if you draw a triangle right there, bear with me for a second. It's like I'm doing surgery here. Okay, sorry, you were saying, Denny? Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. So Denny is already getting the calculation for this thing here. So this quantity here in purple is how much? I'm trying to do it in my head. 3.7? Is that what you said, Denny? 3 feet 7 inches. Can someone confirm? Thank you. Just subtract. I know, but I'm staring at two different screens, so bear with me as I ask these silly questions. So I think that's good. Okay, and how much is this? Well, we don't care about this. You know, IDC, sorry, I don't care. I don't care about this length. I don't care. I do care about this. I'm gonna call that L. So we need to solve for L. So I'm gonna draw that triangle here again. Oh, this is a terrible triangle. Show it some respect, right? Okay, this is 25 degrees. L. Now 3 feet 7 inches, let's convert that to inches. So that's 43 inches. Remember, 3 feet 7, 3 times 12 is 36 plus 7. And as mentioned already, thank you, Denny, it's a sine ratio. So this is opposite and hypotenuse. Don't get intimidated by the labeling. The stuff in pink here is just a labeling. So I'm going to write down our formula finally, 3 days later here. Geez, it feels like forever writing this question. Okay, so we have here sine of 25 is equal to 43 over L. And remember, using sine because we have opposite and hypotenuse. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people in this group that could do it in 3 seconds. I'm having a slight issue with the space bar there. There we go. So we're going to do the switcheroo here. Can someone give me an answer there, please? Thank you. 101, 101.7, or okay, so 102. 102. Thank you. All right. So what do we have here then? Thank you, Mira. Can someone confirm what can someone convert that into feet and inches? Feet and inches, please. Thank you, Zifeng. It's okay. 8 feet 6 inches. Don't worry, Denny. When someone sees this recording on the YouTube channel, they'll be like, "Oh, this math professor sucks at math." Meanwhile, they don't realize that I'm asking the class to do the work. But hey, I make mistakes all the time, so don't worry. We're human, right? So here's our final step. We're gonna add a bunch of stuff together here. We're gonna add all the yellow stuff. See, 6 feet 0 inches, and then we're gonna have here 8 feet 6 inches, and then we're gonna have 5'2" and 2'8", and then we'll add them up. Cal got COVID. All right, so we have here, okay, so that's 16 inches. We'll fix that later. I'll deal with that later, okay? And then we have here what? 14, 19, 21. Can someone confirm this number, please? Can someone confirm these two numbers, please? Is this your answer as well? Okie dokie. Well, that was exciting. That was a bit of a thank you, Denny. Thank you, Shalon. That was a bit of excitement there. I haven't created your second test yet. I'm not saying that this question's on your test. I'm not going to play those hints out yet because it's pure speculation on my part. But if this question was a test question, it would be considered like a medium question because it's just a few steps here and there with some units to deal with. It's not anything that's like immensely complicated to like, oh my goodness, I've never seen a triangle before. It's not like that. You've seen enough triangles. We've played the game in the previous booklet of where's the triangle, where's the right angle triangle. There is a lot of variables to work with, but there's only one triangle. Denny, give me that at least, right? There's only one triangle. There's only one triangle. So I count the difficulty of the question by the number of triangles because I'm allowed to do that. Anyway, I'm just picking on you. Okay, so it's probably a good idea if I save the rest of these questions for Friday so that we can go through them nice and slow. So if we do finish a little early today, it's not because you can't handle any extra stuff. It's because of the Blackboard failure. Yeah. So I just wanted to do some of the easier ones today and wrap it up with this pipe question.